So welcome back and happy Christmas to you all. I hope you're all having a wonderful time in whatever it is that you are doing. So yeah, it's good to be out today. And we're walking a little bit of the coastal path, about 3 miles, to a place that I visited before many years ago. Haven't returned since, but I thought it had really good potential for some landscape shots. So hopefully we'll capture something later on. Hopefully the light will improve because it's quite gloomy right now. But yeah, I wanted to talk about a few different things today. Some things that we've got coming up on the channel, some things that are going to be new for 2025. So that's really exciting. And also I'll be making a few changes to my equipment, a few changes to the camera gear that I currently use. I'm going to be talking about that a bit later as well. But anyway, I need to find the route, the path to wherever it is we're going. I'm sort of lost at the minute, but I'm sure it'll all become apparent in just a second. So, to make explaining this a little bit easier, let me just show you what I have currently in my bag when I'm out for a day of landscape photography like this, and then make it a little bit easier explaining the changes I'm going to make for 2025. So currently in my kit bag, I've got the Fuji X-H2 and the 70-300mm compact zoom lens, which is nice and light. It's great for walking and hiking. My standard zoom, which is 16-55mm, which is a constant f2.8 lens, which is quite heavy, but it is a fantastic lens. And on the wide end, I've got the 13mm Viltrox prime lens, which is great for astrophotography and all round, wide angle seascapes and landscapes. So it's a very versatile lens as well. So yeah, they're the sort of my minimal setup, if you like, for landscape photography. And hopefully that'll make a little bit more sense when I talk about the things that I want to shoot this year and why I'm going to be making some changes. Anyway, let's get on a bit further up the trail. Oh, and before I forget, I'd just like to tell you that myself and Henry have got a brand new workshop which we're announcing today. It's going to be in the Lake District at the beginning of May, and it's for 6 people, and it's going to be absolutely amazing. We're going to visit some incredible locations. So if you're interested in joining us, please do go and take a look at the link in the video description. That will take you to Henry's website where there's lots of information. So if you're interested, please do go and check it out. It will be amazing to see you on the tour. How cool is that? Absolutely brilliant. This is definitely a spot I need to come back to. This big sinkhole here that's flooded out. We've got Church Rock just there that you might be able to see. I think that could make a fantastic composition. However, the light right now is so flat. I just don't think there's anything to work with. It really needs some light on it, but I'm definitely going to come back to that. And I think you can actually get down there. Maybe swim around when the tide's out. I think there's a bit of a beach down there. I seem to remember seeing it before, but not when the tide's flooded through like that. It looks absolutely fantastic. Yeah, I need to shoot that at some point, definitely. So while we're walking, let's talk about some of the things I've got coming up for 2025. So yeah, I don't know if you watched the video a couple of weeks back. I was out shooting some wildlife, or attempting to shoot some wildlife, should I say. Well, it's something that I'm becoming really fond of, and I really enjoy the process. Now, I consider myself an absolute beginner at wildlife photography, and that is so challenging. It's so inspiring, isn't it? I just feel like I've got so much to learn, and I really want to maybe spend 2025 really sort of getting to know the craft, learning more about how to position myself within the landscape to make the best of the opportunities that I have, composition, all of those types of things. And it just feels like, wow, such a mountain to climb really for where I am at the minute with it. But yeah, something I'm thoroughly looking forward to. And it kind of brings me towards the first gear change that I think I'll probably make in 2025, and that is getting a longer focal length in my bag. So for my wildlife photography going forward, I think I would like to take a longer focal length with me than the 70-300 provides. But I don't think I'll be getting rid of the 70-300 because I think that's a perfect lens for taking on long hikes or if I go wild camping, I think it's perfect for that. So I definitely don't want to get rid of the 70-300, but maybe for when I'm doing shorter walks or coastal walks like this, where I might see some wildlife that I want to shoot, but I can't reach with the 70-300, then I think maybe I just need something a little bit longer. So I'm considering a few different options. I've even looked at Canon and Sony cameras, because obviously they've got probably a little bit better autofocus than maybe Fuji has. It's all subjective, of course, but I think I'm going to stick with the Fuji system because I don't really want to spend a ton more cash. And with the APS-C system, obviously with the crop factor, that's giving us that extra bit of reach anyway, which I think will come in very, very handy. So yeah, I've looked at a few different lenses, and there's a couple really that stand out that might work for me. The 100-400 looks particularly good. I know it's quite a chunky lens, and also the newer, I think it's 150-600. But I have to say that's quite a long lens in terms of how it, you know, packs away. So I don't think that's going to work for me. I think it's going to be too bulky. And because it starts at 150, that's going to leave quite a big gap between 16-55 and then obviously the 150. So at the minute, I'm thinking probably the 100-400 and then maybe the 1.4 teleconverter. Yeah, lots to think about, and I'm definitely not decided one way or the other just as yet. But yeah, that's something to think about in the new year over the coming weeks and months, I think. Weight is always a concern for me. I like to keep the pack as light as possible, as you probably know if you watch the channel regularly. And yeah, I don't want to, you know, compromise myself in that way. But I think if I maybe leave the 70-300 and the wide angle lens at home and take out, say, the 100-400, there's not going to be a huge difference in terms of the weight in my pack, I don't think. And that'll give me the option of getting that just that little bit further. I know it's not a huge amount, 100mm at the telephoto end, but I think it probably could make all of the difference, and it will give me a little bit more light as well if I use a teleconverter. So putting a teleconverter on the 70-300 lens essentially is going to make it something like f8 at 400mm as opposed to being f5.6 at 400mm. And as you know, if you are into your wildlife gear, every stop of light in the telephoto range costs a heck of a lot of money. So yeah, I think that's probably what you get in there with the 100-400 over the 70-300. Image quality wise, I think they're both pretty much on par with each other. Yeah, time will tell, and we'll be testing all that out, of course, in the new year. Right, what's down here? This walk is absolutely stunning. Some beautiful views. Really nice sea caves down here as well. Absolutely fantastic. We just need some light. I could have made probably 2 or 3 images, you know, just on this sort of mile that we've walked so far, but yeah, it's not to be. Maybe on another day. But anyway, next thing we've got coming up for 2025 is more of my Between the Hills project. So I've already put 1 or 2 videos out about that project, and that's something I'm really enjoying, shooting man-made stuff in the landscape basically. So yeah, buildings, relics of the past, that type of thing. And I've got lots of trips planned. I really want to get into, just turning around because of the wind, really want to get into some of the old quarries in Snowdonia and some of the quaint little villages up there as well. Try and tell the story of the landscape from the past as well. So I'm really looking forward to that. And that kind of ties in with my pocketable camera, because I really want to shoot that on something small. I don't really want to take a bag out. I just want to be able to go out with just the camera in my pocket. So a little bit of a challenge, a different way of shooting. You might have seen the Fuji X100VI video that I did maybe a week or so ago, where I was out with that camera. Thoroughly enjoyed that, but I don't think that is the camera for me with that one fixed focal length, 35mm. It's a great focal length, of course, but yeah, very restrictive. And I think I need to, yeah, maybe have a couple of different focal lengths in my bag. So yeah, but I quite like to shoot that project on prime lenses, just, you know, a little bit different to how I approach my traditional landscape photography. So yeah, just trying to keep things fresh and mix things up and keep the creativity going, you know, and that's what it's all about, isn't it? So yeah, I'll be continuing with that through 2025 as well, and I hope to share some videos along the way. So I do hope you enjoy that as well. Now, I guess the whole purpose behind all of these different types of photography that I would like to get more involved in is, just giving myself the opportunity to create as many photographs as possible when I'm out on a day of photography. So with landscape photography, you can be out for hours and hours and get conditions like this. And making an image is very, very difficult. So I think if I've got lots of different things that I can shoot, lots of different subjects, lots of different types of photos that I can take during the day, it will make my day out more enjoyable. I'll be able to create more photographs, and hopefully it'll make these videos a little bit more interesting as well. So yeah, I think that's the whole purpose behind this, trying to make more interesting and engaging content for you guys. So yeah, right, we're not too far away from our destination, but yeah, just look at that, cloud everywhere. We just need something to happen over the next hour or two. So I'm positioning myself just down here because there's a couple of little birds just feeding along the edge of the cliff faces here, and with the light being so flat, I think I'm just going to leave the landscape photo for now. Hopefully in the next hour or so we'll get a bit of light and we can shoot this, because it's an absolutely spectacular scene. We'll get onto that in just a second, but I think I'm just going to position myself down here on the ground, and hopefully I'm going to see if I can make a shot, if I can get close enough to them. Hopefully if I just sort of position myself here, keep nice and quiet, they'll come back over and we can grab a shot or two. They're on the move now, so just notice across the cliff face there, a couple of sheep literally dicing with death. Unreal. Why on earth are they doing that? I have no idea. I'll see if I can get a shot of them just literally peering over the edge of a 200-foot drop off. Why would you want to do that? Those are the sort of tricks that will turn you into fish food if you're not careful. Anyway, it seems to be getting a little bit brighter, so I'm hopeful we can make a shot or two. I'm going to wander a little bit further down here and we'll take a look at this area to see where we can best position ourselves. So you can just see behind me there, that pinnacle which sticks up, absolutely brilliant, and definitely could make a very, very good landscape photography subject if we get some decent light. But I'm going to work this scene, try and wander around, see if I can find the best possible angle. So this definitely is a really good subject. Now, I think what I've noticed here is I need some separation above the pinnacle, between the top of the pinnacle and the cliffs over the other side. Let me just spin you around, I'll show you what I mean. So from this location here, we can see the top of the spire, if you like. It connects with the cliff face on the other side. But as we move around to the left, this spire starts to separate itself from the cliff face on the other side. In fact, the further we move around, the more separation that we get. And this is starting to look a little bit more interesting now. So yeah, we'll be working with that, I think, over the next little while. Maybe a long exposure might work really well, actually. So I've just swapped over my long lens for the 16-55. I'm going to make my way just down there, just a tad, to make a composition. I think I've got something that will work. Now we're bang on sunset right now, and as you can see, it's still rather gloomy, but I've got my filters in my pocket, my tripod in my hand. So let's get down there and see if we can make an image before we lose all of the light completely. Okay, so I've got my composition framed up, and actually I quite like the colours in the shot. The blue water looks really nice against these orange rocks. I think they complement each other quite well. And I've gone for a very tight crop in here. I don't really want to include any of the sky, so I'm just really honing in on this rock structure that we have here, and I think probably that's the best that I can do in the current conditions that we have. So I've got the 10-stop filter on, and that's at the minute giving me a 4-minute exposure at f8. So yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and press the shutter button now, and while that's taken, talk to you about a few other things that I've got coming up on the channel. The first being the 16-55 lens, which I'm shooting on now. I do think this is a lens that I might swap out this year as well. There's a new version of this lens out which is considerably lighter and a lot smaller, and I think will help me save some weight, especially if I do go with a 100-400 lens. So yeah, that's definitely a consideration. So that might be something I'm doing. And another thing, actually, that's filming these videos quite difficult at the minute. I don't actually have a vehicle. I'm using my wife's car at the minute, which isn't ideal. My vehicle, which was a lease hire, has now gone back, which means I need to get myself something else sorted. And it's going to be quite exciting. It's going to be a big part of the channel actually going forward. So I'm not going to talk too much about that, but yeah, I do need to get another vehicle very, very soon so we can get out there and get a bit further afield. At the minute, I'm quite restricted to the sort of local places that I can visit. But yeah, more on that in the coming weeks and months. There's something to be quite excited about, hopefully. Anyway, I'm going to put this image up, and we'll see if there's anything else to be made here this evening. So we are losing the light. I don't think I'm going to make another image tonight, but I just wanted to say like a massive thanks to everybody for continuing to watch the channel and offering your support on a weekly basis in the comments section and liking the videos, all of that good stuff. Genuinely, I couldn't do this without you, so thank you from the bottom of my heart, and hopefully you'll enjoy the channel over the next year and going forward. So yeah, thanks so much once again, and I think that wraps the video up for this week, and I do hope I'll see you all again next week for some more landscape photography adventures. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, you might like the one that's at the top here, and why not check out my landscape photography ebook on composition, which is linked over here somewhere. Anyway, until next week, take care. I hope to see you very soon.